All right, here's some more progress on this incomplete laser tag building, laser tag arena. That is a work in progress, and it is incomplete and being built the way I want it to be built. I've done the majority of the interior now and actually have two full teams of 3 players each that are kind of posed up in there. Again, this is incomplete, and my new building area does not have a setup for time lapses, so no time lapses here, but I can still show you what I've done most recently. So kind of the intermediate room, forget if I showed you some details on that previously, but then kind of the equipment room, the ready room, is very tight quarters, as expected, as anticipated, but I did get in a lot more stuff than I thought I would. I figured out a way to get the vests, the battle vests, to actually embed into the wall a little bit so they take up less space than they would if they were just kind of tacked on. And I set it up so that they would kind of have a little charging thing built in, so if the light is green on top, that means it's fully charged, and if it's yellow on top, that means that it's not. Just a clearer light means there's nothing that is registering as charging, and each one has its blaster next to it. I don't have enough spaces for all of the suits in the game, but just have to use your imagination just a little bit. Got some tools over there for doing some quick work if anything loosens up or needs to be tightened up, and there's also kind of a grabber arm for getting to some of the things that are higher up. And there's a whole wall for helmets over here, so those just stick on kind of on the sides. And the kind of referee who's looking over the whole game has his control panel where he's able to see what's going on inside, and he's able to switch between different camera views and kind of mission objective and progress views and such. Meanwhile, inside I've gone ahead and increased the height of the walls to either final or very near final height, put in some random props and decorations just for the heck of it, you know, just because they tend to do things like that. It's not always completely clean and clear in there with just plain obstacles, so that just adds a whole lot of life to the place, makes it look more interesting. Tried to put in some starry looking things, some things that make it look sci-fi-ish, space-like, and did a little more thinking about some of the positions of things, and I'm actually pretty happy with the overall layout here. Red team gets a good offensive position, blue team gets a good defensive position, but I think it's decently well balanced. It would have to be play tested to confirm that, but you know, this is all set up. I think it'll look better with black lights involved. Let me actually see if I have a black light flashlight handy here now that I think about it. I think I might have one. Ah, that's one. So that, and it kind of needs to have less light in there to even really see just what that does. This is so bright, this whole area, but if I kind of do like that, you can start to see how some of the elements would light up with black light applied. So that'll work in my city, you know, when I take off the roof and turn on kind of the nighttime lighting scene, which does have a lot of UV in its blues and purples. That'll help out. And then each team has a base that they're trying to defend. And again, it's difficult to see inside of there, but I did kind of create the 2 spots where you have to get in there as an enemy. You have to get in there and try to shoot between the slots down there, and you have to get 2 solid shots in, and you'll see the progress there. And you need to do that times 2. So ideally you would want to get 2 people in there at the same time, one on the other side, but you could just do it with 1 person, and those would recharge over time. I think kind of the in-universe explanation for this would be that you would need to inject, you know, switch your weapon over to a special data stream, and you'd need to inject a virus to let down the firewall and download the data of your enemy. So that's the blue base back over there, and getting our bearings back. Oh yeah, we got scores up there on either side. So blue sees theirs first, or blue sees, both of them see, you know, the color kind of in the direction, I should say, in the direction of their base, just to help with the user experience just a little bit. And then there's the red base over there near the entrance way. It's not uncommon for laser tag places to have just a single entrance, and they just kind of let you in and say, go find your spaces, spread out, and then go for it. And for teamwork, you know, people would be staying together, and folks on the blue side would go over and take their positions and so on. So there are the two spots that you need to attack over on the red base. And like I said, they just have a good offensive position with the ability to actually shoot into some, not a lot, but some of the blue territory. Not a lot of it, because a lot of these walls are tall, but there are some barriers. The short barriers can be ducked behind, and I think there probably would not be any detectors on the helmets for these guys. The detectors would just be in the vests and the weapons, and that's just based on my own experience with laser tag. So, you know, a head peeking over is not at risk, so that provides some extra defense there. You can't really get a good shot unless it gets a shot, you know, from red to blue there, unless it gets a shot on the blaster. If he tries to come up to the edge, then he's able to be shot upon from several locations, and some folks from blue team can even, while stuff like this is going on, can even go past and sneak around under here and actually make it all the way up into a fairly forward, aggressive position. And the idea would be that they would try to clear off this lane and then make their way up here and have a straight shot, almost a straight shot into the base. When you're taken out, when you're shot, however many times, probably twice, that kind of takes you out of the game for the time. You have to go back to your base to recharge. So you eventually just get pushed back, pushed back, pushed back. And once you're pushed back far enough, then the only place to recharge would be out here at the ammo station, kind of be an emergency last spot, you know, last defensible position from which you would then need to advance to the rear, because by that time there would be bad guys at your base. You need to try to stop them. But yeah, I got some stuff kind of figured out here, and used lots of stickers. Pretty important, stickers are. Decorations in general. A lot of us make fun of stickers and decorations in general, especially stickers, but you know, the whole idea of getting decorations from elements that are not physical, you know, they're just two-dimensional rather than three-dimensional. They're not actually building with proper Lego pieces, but it's really, really useful. And I know that if Lego had made all those parts as printed pieces, they'd be really expensive and would raise the cost of everything Lego related because of all the extra overhead. But anyway, this is my progress. This is what I've done up to this point. Again, it's a work in progress. It's incomplete. I mean, there's not even a roof here, so obviously it's incomplete. These studs are all exposed. There's top of a window there. What's up with that? Well, it's incomplete. Work in progress. Further progress will continue. You can look through these windows from either side to get a little bit of a view through there. That's intentional. And pretty soon I'll be working on a roof for this thing. I'll try to do something a little bit different, but not too crazy, just sticking with the original motif of this being a retail or commercial converted industrial building, or old industrial building. It would have been a factory or something. And I'm having fun with it. I have had fun with it. It took me a little bit longer than I thought, but once I really started getting into it, it was just a matter of, you know, figuring out the smaller details, and that was actually really enjoyable stuff. Nothing has frustrated me in this process. A lot of things have challenged me, but nothing has frustrated me. And I like the theme. I like what it's about. I like the subject matter, so that really helps. And you know, I can kind of tie it in. I personally haven't played any laser tag in I want to say 12 years. I did once as a little small company event, but before then it was last in my teens, or maybe very early in my college years once, and then my teens before that. But all this kind of relates to gaming though, so I can kind of see, like, you know, Halo maps. I can kind of see some of the stuff in this. So I've enjoyed it, and I look forward to making even more progress on this work in progress. Thanks for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.